Afternoon, grasshoppers. Well done on all your work this morning. It's great to see you all back online and doing your lovely work. I hope you all had a nice holiday. I thought I'd sit out on the sunny balcony this afternoon to do some reading. So here is chapter 6 from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Chapter 6 is called The First Two Finders. I wonder if that means the first two finders of chocolate. The very next day, the first golden ticket was found. The finder was a boy called Augustus Gloop, and Mr. Bucket's evening newspaper carried a large picture of him on the front page. The picture showed a 9-year-old boy who was so enormously fat he looked as though he'd been blown up with a powerful pump. Great flabby folds of fat bulged out from every part of his body, and his face was like a monstrous ball of dough with two small, greedy, curranty eyes peering out upon the world. Currant is like a raisin. It's like he's got two little raisins for his eyes. In the town which Augustus Gloop lived in, the newspaper said, The town in which Augustus Gloop lived, the newspaper said, had gone wild with excitement over our hero. Flags were flying from all the windows. Children had been given a holiday from school, and a parade was being organised in honour of the famous youth. The youth is a young person. I just knew Augustus would find a golden ticket, his mother had told the paperman. He eats so many bars of chocolate a day that it was almost impossible for him not to find one. Eating is his hobby, you know. That's all he's interested in. But still, that's better than being a hooligan or shooting off zip guns and things like that in his spare time, isn't it? And what I always say is, he wouldn't go on eating like he does unless he needed nourishment. Nourishment is like food. Would he? It's all vitamins anyway. Is chocolate vitamins? We've done some learning about healthy eating, and I think you know the answer to that. What a thrill it would be for him to visit Mr. Willy Wonka's marvellous factory. We are just as proud as anything. Oh, what a revolting woman, said Grandma Josephine. Oh, and what a repulsive boy, said Grandma Georgina. Don't think they liked him. Only 4 golden tickets left, said Grandpa George. I wonder who will get those. And now the whole country, indeed the whole world, seemed suddenly to be caught up in a mad chocolate-buying spree, everybody searching frantically for those precious remaining tickets. Fully grown women were seen going into sweet shops and buying 10 Wonka bars at a time, then tearing off the wrappers on the spot and peering eagerly underneath for a glint of golden paper. Children were taking hammers and smashing their piggy banks, and that's where they keep their money, and running out into the shops with handfuls of money. In one city, a famous gangster robbed a bank of £1,000 and spent the whole lot on Wonka bars that same afternoon. Wow. And when the police entered his house to arrest him, they found him sitting on the floor amidst mountains of chocolate, ripping off the wrappers with the blade of a long dagger. In far-off Russia, a woman called Charlotte Russe claimed to have found the second ticket, but it turned out to be a clever fake. The famous English scientist, Professor Foulbody, invented a machine which would tell you at once, without even opening the wrapper of a bar of chocolate, whether or not there was a golden ticket hidden beneath it. The machine had a mechanical arm that shot out with tremendous force and grabbed hold of anything that had the slightest bit of gold inside it. But for a moment, it looked like the answer to everything. But unfortunately, while the professor was showing off the machine to the public at the sweet counter of a large department store, the mechanical arm shot out and made a grab for the gold filling in the back tooth of a duchess who was standing nearby. I think this is the duchess. She's there with her fancy jewels. She's like a member of the royal family, like the queen. There was a very ugly scene, and the machine was smashed to the ground. Oh, I'm guessing the ugly scene was the machine trying to rip out the gold from her tooth. I don't think that sounds painful. Suddenly, on the day before Charlie Bucket's birthday, the newspapers announced that the second golden ticket had been found. The lucky person was a small girl called Veruca Salt, who lived with her rich parents in a great city far away. Once again, Mr. Bucket's evening newspaper carried a big picture. Got it wrong. This picture is not the Duchess with the gold tooth. This picture is of Veruca Salt. There you go. Veruca Salt with her golden ticket and her parents. Once again, Mr. Bucket's evening newspaper carried a big picture of the finder. She was sitting between her beaming father and mother in the living room of their house, waving the golden ticket above her head and grinning from ear to ear. Can you show me how big her grin was? How big would your grin be if you just won the golden ticket? Veruca's father, Mr. Salt, had eagerly explained to the newspaper man exactly how the ticket was found. "You see, boys," he had said, "as soon as my little girl told me that she simply had to have one of those golden tickets, I went out into the town and started buying up all the Wonka bars I could lay my hands on. Thousands of them. I must have bought hundreds of thousands." A lot. Then I had them loaded onto trucks and sent directly to my own factory. I'm in the peanut business, you see, and I've got about 100 women working for me over at my place, shelling the peanuts for roasting and salting. When you shell a peanut, you take the peanut out of its shell. That's what they do all day long, those women. They sit there shelling peanuts. So I says to them, "Okay, girls," I says, "from now on, you can stop shelling peanuts and start shelling the wrappers off these chocolate bars instead." And they did. I had every worker in the place yanking the paper off those bars of chocolate full speed ahead from morning till night. But 3 days went by and we had no luck. Oh, it was terrible. My little Veruca got more and more upset every day, and every time I went home, she would scream at me, "Where's my golden ticket? I want my golden ticket!" And she would lie for hours on the floor, kicking and yelling in the most disturbing way. Well, I just hated to see my little girl feeling unhappy like that. So I vowed I would keep up the search until I'd got her what she wanted. Then, suddenly, on the evening of the 4th day, one of my women workers yelled, "I've got it, a golden ticket." And I said, "Give it to me quick." And she did, and I rushed it home and gave it to my darling Veruca, and now she's all smiles and we have a happy home again. "That's even worse than the fat boy," said Grandma Josephine. "She really needs a good spanking," said Grandma Georgina. "I don't think the girl's father played it quite fair, Grandpa, do you?" Charlie murmured. "He spoils her," Grandpa Joe said, "and no good can ever come from spoiling a child like that, Charlie. You mark my words." "Come to bed, my darling," said Charlie's mother. "Tomorrow's your birthday, don't forget, so I expect you'll be up early wanting to open your present." "Wonka chocolate bar," cried Charlie. "It is a Wonka bar, isn't it?" "Yes, my love," his mother said. "Of course it is." "Wouldn't it be wonderful if I found the 3rd golden ticket inside it?" Charlie said. "Bring it here when you get it," Grandpa Joe said. "Then we can all watch you taking off the wrapper." Wow, so tomorrow it's Charlie's birthday. He's going to be getting his own bar of Wonka's chocolate. I wonder if he's going to get the golden ticket. See you back here tomorrow, grasshoppers.